What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Throw Show, where we're going big into conference season, collegiate conference season, and a lot of states already had their state championship. I think Texas already had their state championship last week.
Yeah, the southern schools or southern states
already had everything. Yeah. So let's start off with, of course, Christian Che going 70-89. I wanted to point out here, Sam was at this meet, and Sam was like, he said, take note of how that flew. He's like, everyone else like had decent flights. Che missed the release, and it still went 70-89. He's like, we're all standing there like 70-89, and he sort of almost tombstoned it.
Yeah,
like, what's gonna happen when this dude hits like a really
look
really
at that. Like that's definitely another meter.
Yeah,
just flies.
He's like, this is gonna be crazy. So Che just going huge, 70-89, breaking the Doha meet record.
Man,
great movement though, good footwork.
I'm really excited to just see like shot put's just been up there like year after year, and now discus is gonna it's gonna be right with it. There's gonna be these absolute standouts.
Him and Alekna.
Yeah.
Roja Stone.
Yeah.
Alex Rose.
That's right. Yeah, what a great throw.
Yeah, that's a huge throw. This brings up, this happened yesterday, 76-18. New PB, number 2 in the U.S., and I want to say number 9 or 10 in the world, Tyler Williams.
Incredible.
And a lot of people don't know the story behind Tyler. He's a D3 athlete, was around when Sean Don was around in the D3 circuit, back in the day. I think he got second at NCAAs.
Got sniped.
Yeah, and he threw at the 2016 Olympic trials, threw for a while, and then had like 2 or 3 or 4 serious back injuries, some real life issues as well, family stuff. But he's just been grinding and working and coming back after, I think he had 2 back surgeries. And now here he is. He was texting me yesterday because he represents Garage Strength. He throws for GS, and he's like, I don't have a fire lit inside me. I have something nuclear lit inside me. So I think it's pretty cool to see him really starting to build up into something special here.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Like unbelievable. The amount of just progress and just dedication over the years, and all culminating to this type of performance is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So congrats, Tyler.
That's huge. Absolute monster. Sean Pickering did pass away. So he was a British athlete, worked a lot with Veston actually, and his guys worked a lot. Like I almost think Nick Arrhenius sort of described him as this like history book of the throws, super supportive. Help people like Lawrence Okoye. I've seen him around Nick Percy, a lot of those guys. But just like even setting up the European throws stuff, like contributing in multiple different avenues, really, like coaching, education, helping athletes from all walks of life, and then also just like sort of helping dish out knowledge of the throws as well. And so I think it's just it sucks when someone like Sean Pickering passes away. He had a big impact on the sport, and somebody that like now there's a void. So hopefully somebody can step up and help with funding, but also help with that knowledge and that I guess authority that Sean had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. It always just sucks when you lose someone who's just such an influence on the throwing community, like Sean, and definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, I actually wanted to share, I had a good talk with him in Tokyo after qualifying. Like we were just sort of hanging around the track. And I was fortunate enough to spend 35, 40 minutes where he and I were just talking about the pressure of the event and then like COVID's impact on it and how that almost created even more pressure for some of the athletes because it was so quiet, at times in the competition, but it was just neat to share that time and moment. And for me to reflect back on that, it's a cool moment for me in my coaching career to be around some of his stature.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Ashlynn.
Yeah.
Huge
throw. She's a sophomore. Bomb.
Yeah, 1673. That's an absolute toss. It's awesome to see her just just coming together, hitting her groove, and just like, I mean, yeah, really making a name for herself in college now. Like, this is big.
What would you tell her to do, Trevor?
I think she's I mean, this is an amazing throw. She's a little under rotated actually.
Yeah,
in
a little
middle.
short to the center.
But maybe you're getting a little wider out of the back, or getting her weight over a little bit more out of the back, over the left,
right in.
and then cutting the right in. Yeah. But I mean, she catches it back. She just lays into that finish, real long finish going out.
Another school
and she's
record.
just moving. Yeah, seriously. And she's just moving really, really, really well. And I think, it's just going to keep carrying through and hope to see her hit, big market regionals and try and make it through.
Yep. I think it's cool, too. It's like Ashlynn threw well. Sarah Marvin, I think, PR'd as well at SEC. Peyton ended up winning the Big 12, I think, on her last throw, if I remember looking at the sheet. So it's like, it's cool to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Peyton might be the next slide. Yes.
Right.
So if you scroll over, you can see here when they read 1765 for that win. And then that's the Big 12, Big 12 conference title. I think that's either her third or fourth, if I remember correctly, which is just that's another
insane.
cool thing to see is like how many, conference titles, somebody who threw with us for quite a while, and just continuing to have tons of success. And 1765 is huge. Like she's continuously this season, this outdoor season, nipping at 18 meters, which is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's also just wild, like thinking about that. It's like high 17s, like there's multiple chicks, like 7 or 8 women throwing that far.
I know.
It's insane.
Yeah, I know. It's so ridiculously far. I mean, I remember, what was it? When in the 2016 Olympics, it was 1775, I think, was like the qualifier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the Olympics. The trials, it was like 1720 was like top 8.
Yeah.
And now these collegiates are doing this regularly.
Yeah. So I think it's just like not letting that, like, just realizing still how, even amongst all these great throwers, how good this still is. 1765.
Trevor, your thoughts?
So, right, Nick Ponzio, this is him announcing his retirement from throwing, based off of essentially, now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is based off of missing 3 drug test check-ins.
Yeah.
And so if you miss 3, then then you get a suspension. I believe, was it a 2-year suspension? I believe, or
I forget if it's 2 or 18 months. It's
okay.
But it's similar to what Christian Coleman had. I think it's almost the exact same, that Christian Coleman, and
Right.
I think Ravens might be 18 months. So maybe it's something along. It might be 18 months, and it ends up issuing so that he's gonna miss the period for the Olympic qualification.
Right. Yeah. And I believe in this video he's explaining how he had technical issues with his phone and how that prevented him from being able to get all the check-ins in that he needed. So it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that we're losing such a great thrower in the sport to this. And he was certainly, I loved watching every single throw he took, because he's incredibly entertaining, he's wild, he gets the crowd into it, and he's fun to watch. So it's going to be it's unfortunate that he's not going to be throwing anymore.
I will say that there's times with the check-ins, I know I've had the experience where I was helping Jaime when she first moved to the U.S., where we had to take Jaime's Adams submission, and we had to contact World Athletics, WADA, and Adams, and they sort of all communicate together, and we basically had to say something's going on in the system, and the woman was like, just send everything, document everything right here. We had to email her 6 weeks worth of where Jaime's whereabouts would be, And then because we had emailed them, they were documented. And then on the back end, while that was happening, we had to try and figure out what was going on with the app and with the Adams system to then come back and do it through the actual system. But because it was documented, it was there. And actually during that time frame, she did get tested. So it's like, just make sure you try to have as many stops figured out as possible. You know, you have multiple violations. You just got to be on alert a little bit more. Sometimes they do also, you can try to have other violations removed if there's a specific circumstance. But I know Christian Coleman had to deal with this as well, I think, and that prevented him from going to Tokyo. So it is something that everybody should just be aware of.
Yeah. I mean, and it's all in an attempt to make the sport, you know, clean. And, you know, is the system perfect? I don't think any system's perfect, but, you know, it's set up a certain way for a reason. And, you know, there's a lot of different things to manage with it. And I think the more awareness that every athlete has to, you know, that it is annoying, it is difficult, and that there can be problems, you know, and the more prepared you are, the better, you know, for that. So.
Yeah. I think this might be the same one.
Okay.
All right. Ethan Katzberg goes 78-41, and you can see there he's standing with Dylan Armstrong and Dr. B. Wow. Look at Dr. B on the right there.
That's awesome.
Dylan looks like he hasn't aged at all. How is that fair? But Ethan Katzberg, 78-41. That's a freaking bomb.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's I'm trying to think through. That might be, is that a Canadian record? It might be a Canadian. I'm trying to think through the men's. The men's Canadian record would be, well, I think the guy's name was Jim. He was from Alberta, but I'm trying to think. That might be the Canadian record as well, but takes the world lead currently. So this is another dude who's going to be a player to get in the mix for world medals this year.
Right, yeah, seriously. I mean, man. I mean, yeah. That's incredible. Let's watch it again.
I think he's NAIA, if I remember. I see if Simon Fraser maybe. I know we've had him on the pot or on the show before, on the throw show before. That's huge.
Yeah, only about less than 1.5 meters away from the world lead right now. It's insane.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. The running statistician.
Yeah, coming through.
Yeah. Thank you, runner.
Yeah, that's a big throw. Yo, I wanted to ask you and Dylan here. What do you think if Dylan picked up a shot right now? And I don't know what he's doing, but let's say he's not training at all.
1850. He hurt his elbow for months, but 1850. He'd probably throw an 18-pounder further. I think Dylan would have the world record, and I would venture to say it'd be hard pressed to be broken if the shot was like a 9K or a 10K.
Yeah.
Because I know he launched the 9K and the 10K.
Yeah. Numbers?
I want to say he threw the 9K over 20 meters.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like almost positive of that. Yeah, I have it in my phone notes, so I should look for that.
Goodness.
Okay, so that's what was the distance here? That's Veronica's. Why can I not think
Veronica Fraley.
Fraley, yeah. So she also threw like 17:20. I said.
I believe it was
62.
Plus?
Okay, 62.
Might have been 62.
I think people too, like, she's not a big girl. Like, she's short, and she's throwing like low 17s, in the shot. I want to say she got third or fourth at SEC, and then discus 5 throws over 60 meters, took down the stadium record, Vanderbilt school record, and I just think it goes to show, like, her technical movement is freaking money. She made the world team last year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, dude, she's got really, really good movement. And also shows with Ashley how well Ashley's coaching men's shot, obviously, women's shot, women's discus, women's weight, women's hammer. I don't know about javelin. I have not because I don't know if she's coaching well, but because I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a big mark.
I really like how balanced she is in this throw. Left arm too reminds me of Joe's left arm in the middle.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see at NCAA's how this all shakes out on the women's side.
Absolutely.
A lot of big
First round. You know what's interesting is the regional, especially I feel like in the discus, you see more like somebody who's in the top gets sniped because there's so much pressure in those 3 throws.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And she's someone who's like automatic.
Yeah.
That I have a feeling will just go out.
It's like the March Madness of throwing.
Yeah.
The regionals.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen.
I don't want to say this, but I wish that there was betting on the first round on regionals throwing.
Yeah, you could get in some trouble.
Oh, geez. Here we go. So I think we're gonna start the just murderer's row of throwing in the college level. The Nebraska squad.
This is unreal.
Yeah.
Like this throw right here. Unreal.
Lena Johansson. Look at that position, by the way.
Yeah.
1954. So I think there's 3 women or 4 women that have gone 19 in the NCAA now. Outdoor, indoor. Cuts that to the middle, sits through the middle, rotates really well, stays patient on the finish. Nice bent right knee.
Bent knee, grounded.
Yep. Holds that left side and just hammers into that finish. Dude, I want to say, what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 years with the women, with the marks at the world level, we might see to medal, it might be like 2060 for top 3. Yeah. There's so many girls in the mid-19s right now that are 21 to 24.
I mean, I think you could be seeing the NCAA record pushing 20 meters and the world leads pushing 21 meters.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Yep. Absolutely. What if Valerie Adams would have spun from an early age?
This could be its own video.
Yeah, what would have happened? I don't know. She would have. There's got to be some discus footage of her somewhere doing like a non-reverse.
Yeah.
But what would have happened? I mean, I think her PR is like 21:30 or 21:28, something like that. It's like, could you imagine? Maybe she even went over. No, I don't think she ever went over 70 feet. I got to go back and look. But what would have happened with her if she was spinning early, or just the glide was it perfect for her?
Yeah.
That's a good question that everybody should comment down below.
Yeah.
How
far would have Valerie Adams thrown?
Not to take anything from Axelina. Okay, Joe, I think this is 565. The twins in the background.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Fraley spotting on the left. And I want to say I commented on this post. I originally put 4 reps. And then I remembered back to post Olympic trials 2021, seeing Joe at the gym, and there was like 5 of us in the gym, and I want to say he did 230. It was like 230 for 12 or something crazy, but he hit 240 for a set of 7. And it was the day after he had qualified for the Olympics. So I was like, when I commented, I was like, all right, 240 for 7. That was the day after. So he was not in like high rep shape. They were trying to get him back there. So I put here that he probably hit this for 7 reps. Maybe 5. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
The question is not how much weight,
love that. Yeah.
but how many. Jeez. I don't even want to know because it's sort of scary.
What do you think when the twins are like, old enough to like, talk and like, run around, when they see people lifting and they're like,
what's normal to them?
Yeah, what's normal?
Yeah, it's just gonna be crazy. It's crazy.
Oh man. That's great though.
Okay, so Maxwell Otterdahl goes 21-22, and so I believe I saw that he and his brother Peyton were the first brother tandem to both go 21 meters.
Wow, that's so cool.
Their third brother, I want to say, he's thrown high 19. So, I think that's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
2 brothers going 21.
That's crazy.
And Peyton's not far off from 22. Maxwell's 78 centimeters off 22. That would be unreal. So this is a tremendous throw. And with him, I think it was Jonah Wilson also threw 21-32, which I think is next. Just along with Axelina, that Nebraska team is stacked. What a great job they're doing out there. St. Clair's doing, who's now the head coach there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is insane. Let's watch it again.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to point out, Axelina was the one that St. Clair was telling me he was making her yell in practice because she had never yelled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was at Worlds last year.
That's cool.
Maxwell almost reminds me of Krauser, where it's like he sort of looks slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
But he's just so tall.
Right. It's like simple movement. It's just like simple movement. Nothing wild.
Yep.
Simple movement, but.
Do you think he and his brother have competitions like, okay, who has better technique? How is technique measured?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like his technique. It's good.
No, it's great.
Then we got this.
Yeah, Jonah Wilson, 21-32, just shy of the 70-foot mark by a half inch. Somebody should have been.
Wait, let's back up. How does it feel to throw 21-22 and not be the best thrower on the team?
Yeah, not even in the conference, but in the team.
Yeah, right.
It's not fair.
Oh, man.
Number 8 in the world. And their other thrower, big. Dude, he's freaking thick, too. Boom. I also love the fact that all of their movements are very similar, but also have like their own little detailed differences too. But they're like very, very similar. Like the principle is similar. I think that's a big factor that shows great coaching too.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, he gets a little more dynamic, maybe a little wider with the right leg. He sinks on the left knee a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wanted to point out, I think his transfer on the finish, he's a little bit better moving forward. Whereas Maxwell, if you watch Maxwell's throw, his reverse, he doesn't actually transfer into that left side as well on the finish, and that's where he could be making up some ground. I'm sure they're going to be working on stuff like that, but that was my first thought process when I was watching. So I was thinking maybe that Maxwell's falling in off the left, and like how you just said, Jonah's getting a little bit wider out of the back there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is big, man. Just under 70 feet.
Yep.
Still, it's
huge.
It's not going to be long, I don't think.
No. All right, so here's another one. Coach Newell goes to Arkansas and just totally changes. The whole program there is unreal. Roja Stone, love his movement. I swear looks like he's added 40 pounds to his bench, maybe more. 68-64. Also threw 67-65. Breaks the SEC record in discus, which is phenomenal. Adds in the world standard as well. Patient, balanced middle position there with his left side. I think he's got very, very good technique that reminds me of the Nebraska guys that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Sits through that finish so well. There's nothing else like that. This is a big thing with these. The collegiate throws. Looking at Axelina, I mean, watching Payton too. It's like these throwers, Roja. Their technique is just so simple and repeatable. It's so dialed in.
Like he's gonna be hitting, like he's creeping up these distances, but it's not gonna be one of those things where he just randomly throws an 5-8 meter spread like meet to meet.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be consistent with his technique.
Yep. Love it. This is great. Except I don't want him to throw this far.
Yeah,
huge.
That's massive. What if there's two throwers over 70 meters at NCAA?
It might happen. I mean, that's the whole thing. You look at Alekna, he went out and had a crazy series at Pac-12. It's like, look at his series, and you look at the series that Roja had, it's like, it's almost not fair. It's like 60, I mean, not that it's not fair, but his series, 69, 68, 70, 67, 69. I think he had one throw that was like 63. It was probably his first throw. Like, all right, this will be good. I'll get it in the meat.
Yeah.
Boom. Finishes. Takes 3 hours for the discus to come down. Man, that's nice. just great feeling too. It's like you can just tell he's so dialed in with that feeling. You could see that one ref was like, dude, I'm getting out of the way of this discus. I don't want to come anywhere close to this. Man.
Yeah.
Unreal.
That's big.
Oh, this is a side angle. I like the shot because it put it into perspective, like how long it was in the air. Jeez. Cal throws with the nice footage. Yeah. And that brings us to the garage games. June 1st, June 2nd. It's a qualifying meet. We're going to have this for shot and discus. It's a Thursday, Friday, back-to-back. The main one is going to be Friday, if I remember correctly, Trevor. And then that's just going to be, you guys can email us, throwsuniversity@gmail.com.
It's on the website, so you can check out information and sign up there as well.
Yeah, so sign up there. We're going to have some big-time throws in the shot, I guarantee you of that, and big-time throws in the discus where we always tend to have, just a fun time. Yame threw 66 where we are going to be competing. Alex qualified for the Olympics there before throwing 66 meters, so we've had some big-time throws there, and I think that it'll be a fun comp, always a fun comp.
Yeah, and if you can't make it or don't hit the qualification standards, we're going to have an all-comers meet in August as well, the Power Fest, which is going to be the second weekend in August. So stay tuned for that as well.
Stay tuned, and congrats to everybody this past weekend at Division I level with conference. We got the last chance meets this week for D3 coming up, and then the next couple weeks we're going to have first round national championships on the D2, D3 level. So keep focused. Know what you're going to be doing in those competitions, how you're going to be prepping for them, and know what you're going to be doing even with certain scenarios, how you're warming up and when you're taking your caffeine, what kind of music you're going to listen to. Until next time, peace.